This daily trading pattern has made my trading extremely simple, and it's so easy that a fresh beginner could start trading this today. It helps me understand when to take a trade, where to take a trade, and most importantly, which direction the market wants to move. And after backtesting this for almost a year, it's shown me consistent profits while completely getting rid of the guesswork. In this video, I'm going to explain the daily pattern that no one talks about, and then I'm going to show you some live examples of how I enter a trade using this pattern. Okay, so demonstrating, let's jump onto the daily chart, and what we're looking for is throughout these expansions or retracements, we're looking for little breaks and retests within these that we're going to trade. Basically just a break, retest, continuation off. So let me show you what this would look like in a quick example. So if we move to this candle over here, the first thing you're going to do is when you see a daily candle, you're going to wait for the daily range to close and the new candle to start. That way you know this candle is complete. And then after you've done that, you're going to take your Gann box, which you can find on the left here, and you're going to draw it from the bottom all the way up to the top of the candle. And you want your Gann box to look like this, so I just have the low, the high, and the 0.5 marked out, or 50% if you will. If you want to copy how mine looks, these are the exact numbers. So moving on to step 3, we would then wait for price to either take the high or the low, so price might open here and then take the high here. We then want price to come back down, retest the 50% level, and then move in a continuation in the way that we're hoping to take the trade, or where it's previously broken, whether that's a high or whether it opens, makes its way down, breaks the low, comes back to 50%, takes the low. Now step 4 is obviously placing our position. So we would place our long position if it was a buy, for example, at the 50% line, and then as far as our stop loss and take profit goes, we would drag our stop loss to the low of the candle, and then we want to make our take profit a 3 RR of whatever our stop loss is. So then that would be, I'll just move this up slightly, that would be all the way around here. That's perfect, bang on. So this is how we want an example trade to look. And then if I just draw, this would be if prices came up, swept the high, moved back down, taken 50%, and then moved in a continuation in our level. Now, one thing I do want to mention is if we don't get an entry within this next candle's day, then we don't take the trade. We can't drag this over multiple days, because as we move to the next day, then this Gann box will then move to the next candle, and so on and so forth. So that's the basis of this strategy. A simple break and retest, which will mean you only need to show up to the charts once a day and be on the charts for 5 minutes, which is why this strategy is great, because it gives you the most freedom possible. This is why we create these one candle systems that only take 5 to 10 minutes a day of our time, because this gives us the time to go and enjoy our life. And that's the main goal of trading, is the freedom that comes with it. Also, if you guys want a bunch of free material, make sure you click the link in the description, because in there I've got things like a trading journal that can help you backtest this and practice the strategy for yourself. That way you can go into the live charts with even more confidence. So let's start looking at some live examples on the charts, starting with this candle. So if we grab our Gann box and we draw from the low all the way up to the high, then we can dive down onto the 1 hour to see what this looks like. So what I've done here is I've drawn a line on where the next day after this starts. So this is the full day's printed price. Now we've zoomed into the 1 hour. And if the move doesn't happen within this window, then we don't do the trade. So if I play this through, we'll see we've had our sweep here. So now we want to wait for price to come back to this 50% line before it taps here. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. So that's fine. We move on to the next day. Okay, now moving to the next day, again, we draw our Gann box from the low to the high, or the high to the low, and we drop that down to the 1 hour. Okay, so again, we're in this position, and we're going to wait for price to break the low or high. And here we break the low. Are we going to make it back to the 50% in time? No, we just missed it, so again, we move to the next day. Okay, so coming back to the daily, we would draw our Gann box from our low all the way up to our high, and then we drop ourselves down to the 1 hour. So now we've got this all marked out, we would wait for a sweep of the high or the low. And as you can see here, we've had our sweep. So now we're waiting for price to come back and retest this 50% line before we can have a continuation upwards. So let's see if that happens. Perfect, so we've had our tap here, so we would now be entering longs on this line here with our stops at the low, and our take profits would be 3 RR, which brings us just up to around about here. Perfect. So now let's actually play this trade out. I'll remove this line. Let's play this trade out and see how it actually works. There we go. As you can see, if I drag our take profit over, we have hit take profit here, and that's given us a +3 RR. So I'll just write that down now so that we don't forget. Perfect. And here is a perfect example of a winning trade with this strategy. Let's move on. Okay, so now we've got that marked out, we'll just continue on with the strategy, and we will mark our GAN box again from the low to the high and take ourselves down to the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so now we're on the 1 hour, we're going to wait for price to either sweep this high or sweep this low before we expect to retest back to 50% and continuation. So let's see what happens. So we've had our sweep of the low here, and almost instantly we've came back and tapped this high. Let me just confirm that. There we go, perfect. So we would be entering a sell position here now, with our stops just at the highs here, and then our take profits again at a 3 to 1, which brings us down to just here. Perfect. Now let's play this trade out and see how this one would have performed. And beautiful. Within the space of a few candles, we've absolutely smashed our take profit here, and that's another one to add to the list. So if I just write that again up here, that's another +3 RR. Perfect, let's move on to the next day. Okay, so moving on to the next candle, again, same process. We draw from the low to the high and then drop ourselves down to the 1 hour. Now we're on the 1 hour, we wait for price to sweep the high or low as step number 1. And we've swept the low here, but we haven't managed to make it back to that 50% in time. So again, we close this, move to the next day. Okay, so now we grab our GAN box and we draw from the low to the high here and drop again down to the 1 hour time frame. Now we've got everything marked out here. We're going to wait for a sweep again, as we do, of the high or of the low, and move from there. So we've had our sweep of the low here, and price has just played itself out to come and tap that 50% perfectly. So in this position again, we would be entering a sell on this candle with our stops at the highs and our take profits at a 3 to 1. And that will bring us to here. So let's play this trade out and see how it performs and move forward from there. Perfect. So as you can see here, we've came down and we've actually perfectly executed and tapped ourselves another 3 RR trade. So I'll just pop that up here. Okay, so as you can see from the past week or two here of just backtesting this little bit of data, we've actually ended up with a +9 risk to reward. Now, if I was to put this on a real account and risk 1% to gain 3%, it would mean in total we've gained 9%, which on a $100,000 account, that is $9,000. Also, I recommend that you use this strategy on multiple pairs a day because it works on a lot. So if you set up 3 charts, for example, monitor them all every day. If a trade's there, take it. If it's not, close your laptop and wait till the next day. Like I said, the beauty of this pattern is the fact that you only need to be on the charts for 5 to 10 minutes a day. So use that to your advantage. And if you guys have any questions about the pattern, then please make sure to leave them in the comments because I will be answering all of your guys' comments. And just to remind you again, if you click the link in the description, you can have access to a free playbook alongside a free journal and a bunch of other materials to help you improve your trading at absolutely no cost at all. So don't miss out on that and click the link in the description. Apart from that, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.